Okay, big bowls. They're kind of a different animal. I've heard some turners, especially new turners, actually saying that they won't do big bowls because they're, I won't say afraid of them, but they're nervous about doing them, right? Yes, they're a different animal because of basically the size and the weight of them. This one that's in here is a piece of Spalted Sycamore, and it's 17 3/4 across and it's 5 wide. When you're doing really big stuff, respect the piece of wood because it can seriously hurt you. Right. The whole trick with big bowls is balance. It's the first thing you have to do is get this in balance, right? Now, there's a little bit of punkiness just there, right? Which means here is going to be lighter, right? And as you can see, it's a little bit wider here than it is here, which means here is going to be heavier, right? The first thing you have to do is try and get this as much in balance as you can, right? Now, what I'm going to do first is round it off. Then I'm going to get that side flat. Right, then it will be as much in balance as you can. Now, something you can actually help yourself with, right? Especially if you're cutting these on a bandsaw, right? Is whatever side is on the bed of your bandsaw, that's the side you put your faceplate on, right? This side was on my bandsaw. Right, so I put the faceplate on this side. If I put the faceplate on this side, because of the tilt in the wood, this wouldn't have gone on straight. It would have gone on tilted like that, which it makes it very awkward. Not to mention the fact it actually cuts down on the size you can put on your lathe. Right, because how can I show that? I've got a small blank back around. Yeah, I do. Right. Okay, there's a small blank. Okay, well, small compared to this one. Right, now if you look at that, there's a certain distance between there and there. Right, so if that's flat, that's the distance I have. But if I turn that even slightly, the distance between there and there is now greater. Right, I have an 18-inch swing on this lathe, so I could put an 18-inch blank on this. But if I put an 18-inch blank on that skewed, right, this edge is going to touch and this edge is going to touch. So I can't actually get, unless I get it straight. It's something to think about. Always put your faceplate on the side that was flat on the bed, on the bandsaw. Right. It's just something, I learned that one the hard way, right? So might as well just pass it on. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is, as I said, round this off, right? Turn the lathe on, it's at 0. Start bringing it up. Right, now, you might have to excuse the camera angle a little bit on this. I had to modify my normal ones because the entire blank wouldn't actually fit in the frame. Right. What I'm doing is I'm slowly working up until there's a vibration. Right, there's a slight one there, so I'm going to back off. Right, now I'm going to start rounding this off. So this is going to be quite slow until I get this weight right. So what I'm going to do is I'll just speed up the video until I get the weight on this right, and then I'll come back to normal speed. Oh, this is very, very, very punky. There. the punkiness all there. The one thing is that this curve is going to go that way, so I might be able to cut that out. We'll see. That'll be a nice pattern if it stays. But that is extremely punky there. Right. Check I'm actually getting a cut everywhere. I am, except just there on that ridge. Hopefully I can cut that punkiness out of it, because that is really bad. I don't even think a wood hardener would help that. We'll see what we can do. This ball may end up smaller. Right, now I'll just face it off. Right. Something this size, I'm going to keep the tail stuck up as long as I can. Now, I don't know if the camera's picking up this side. It's too high for me to actually look at. But I've cut, you might be able to see that there's kind of steps in there. What I'm doing is I'm trying to make sure that I don't waste wood. The thing with big bowls is, the whole thing is big. Right, you're trying not to waste size. Right, now I'm going to see if I can cut that out of it. I'll start shaping the bowl. Right, I think I've said this before on another video. Have a rough idea in your mind of what you want to do, but be prepared to change it, because the wood might take you somewhere else. Like I had a feeling there would be some punkiness in this, but I didn't think it would be that punky. So this is after changing the basic idea that I had in my head, so we'll just go with it. Yeah. See what we can get in speed wise. No rattle there, so back off a little bit. Right. Now let's start cutting. At the moment, all I'm trying to do is find out how far in that punkiness goes. So it goes in a fair bit. It is not all like that, because that is beautiful now. Let's get this a bit closer. Speed up at all. Yeah, getting a few out of it. Right, I knocked the camera off there for a little bit, just because I knew this was going to take ages, and there was no point in you watching me trying to just cutting. Right. So what I've done is, that's the punky area there. I've treated it as best I could with a combination of sanding sealer and CA, right, to try and stiffen those fibres up. Right, so now we'll try this again. Right. And I've also switched from the 1/2 inch ball gouge to a 3/8. Right. Now we'll see if we can get a decent cut on this. see if that helped at all. Yes, it did. It did indeed. Okay, so that's a lot better than it was. Now, I was actually, while I was waiting for all that to dry, I was looking at this. I actually quite like the big foot on it. It just needs to be size-wise. It's a bit over the top. If I can actually get this finished, this is going to be quite pretty. Right. That can be sorted out. Just there's a slight crack. And I'm going to treat that now. So I'll get some fine sawdust out of the bandsaw and treat that with sawdust and CA. Where'd it go? There it is. Just lock that off there. I'm just tapping it there to drive any sawdust down into this crack. If I can keep that, it'll actually be quite a pretty feature. Right. Keep that ready. Put the CA into that. If I can get this ball to finish, it could be quite a pretty ball. Just open the door to let the fumes out. Right. Sawdust. Spin it up. A bit more speed into it. Now, we try and finalise this shape. Right, what I'm doing is I'm pulling and I'm cutting with the edge of this bevel, right? So what I'm doing is I'm putting it up, and then when I get to where I want to cut, I'm riding that bevel, and when I get where I cut, I want to cut, I'm turning it slightly so it starts cutting, and I'm cutting here. Right. Have a look at that. Yeah, it's a lot better than it was. A lot better than it was. Right. Yeah. Nearly. Yep. Got it. I was just chasing a bump there. That is holding there. It's a little bit punky there, but not even close to where it was. Right. Now it's time to lose the tailstock, and we'll start out here. Slightly too low. It's better. Now we got to decide on this foot. So I like the highish foot on it, but it's too wide at the moment. Blend it in. Yeah, quite like that. So a foot about half that depth should be just right. So because I need to put the tenon in. And marking for a tenon. There. Okay. Now, that is my parting tool. Right, to find that tenon. Let's have something to work to. Right. Modified skew. Put the angle in. sure it's flat. And now, sanding. Right. So I'm gonna go sand on this, and I'll be back when it's done. Hopefully I can improve that a little bit more, but at least it's getting somewhere. Right. Just in case anybody wants it for reference, what I used on the punkiness, and you see how punky it was, and it's still slightly punky, but it's usable. I put on a coat of sanding sealer. The sanding sealer I use is a shellac based one. Right. Then I let that dry, and I put a coat of super thin CA on top of it, and that's how I sorted out that punkiness, just in case anybody wants to know. Right, so as I said, I'm just going to sand this now, and I'll be back then, because this is going to take a while. This is a big piece, and we're back, just buffing off. Right then, let's see how this turned out. Oh, that's pretty. That is pretty. Loads of colours. Oh, there's actually châtaignes in this. Just there. Nice. This one has a bit of everything, I think. That is a lovely feature. Hopefully I can get this to finish. Right, we flip this over and we'll see how much trouble I can get on the inside. So I'll be back in a second when I have it flipped. Right, okay, we're flipped around, and the first thing I'm going to do is face it off. I can get up to about 660 without vibration. Right, look at that. See if I can get a cut all the way around. And there's that punky section again, see it? There, looks like it runs pretty deep. We have to treat that again on the inside. But we're straight now. Right, time to lose the tailstock and start hollowing, because I can't hollow the tailstock there. And the first thing I'm going to do is, I normally do it, give myself an approximate width. Something to work to. Now we start hollow this out. See how bad that punky section is inside. How much treatment I have to do to it. Now I want to check that before I do a finish cut. The punky section. It's definitely not as bad as the outside, but it's there. Right. So I need to go a bit deeper before I can treat it. No, it's not even close to as bad as it was outside, but I'm still going to treat it. So, knock it off, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the inside that I did on the outside. And then here is, I'm going to have to do it section by section, so I can get finished cuts as I'm going in. Treat that rim as well, because I want to get a finish cut on that rim before I go any deeper. There's a good soaking and sanding sealer first. Let that dry off. And then I'm going to hit it with super thin CA. Worked on the outside, so it should work on the inside. Right, that seems to be set up. So first thing I'm going to do is do this edge. I literally just want to get a finished cut on it. Line it up. That's that punky part. That is acceptable. Yes, okay, so that might have worked. Right, now we'll do a finish cut on this section. Now let's have a look. See how that went. Yes. And that worked again. Okay. Clearance, clear. Right, now we work down a bit more. I'm hoping the punkiness improves the further down I go. Look at that section. And it is. That section there is fine. Good. Some good news on this ball at last. Right, you keep going then. I'm going to check these every cut. Yeah. Let's just try and take a long cut here. Ball is still a bit thick at the top. Yeah, that's much better. Much better. Yeah, it's working. It's working just fine, but it's a bump just there. Yeah, I got it. Okay, right. And we keep going. The punky area there again. It's just there. See if I can cut it. See. Now I'm going to pull the ball off and treat that punky area. So I can treat it where it is. It's just there. It's just punky just there. So I'm going to treat that. Right, really let that soak in. I don't want to lose this bowl at this stage. So we'll be back as soon as that dries. Right, we're back. Right, the repair is done, so I'm just going to continue this cut. Helped. It's not perfect, but it helped. Right, let me take the middle out of that. A little bit of tear out, but it'll sand. There's a bump there in the middle I still want to get rid of. It's a slight one, but I don't want it there. Slight bump just there I can feel. Right, and now we will sand that and I'll be back. Okay, and we're back. Just buffing. What do you think, guys? What do you think, Daisy? There we go. It's a lovely feature just there. Right. Then all I gotta do is take the tenon off and finish the base. So we'll go straight into that. Right, let's get this off. Then we concave the base a bit. Check that. Yep. Sitting on its edges. Whoop, it's still too high, so I want to take it down slightly. Right, now I'll sand and finish the base. And I'll be back then. Right, and there we have it. It's 17 inches by 4. It's got some beautiful figure in it. It even has spots of red in it over there. Right, that's the shape. As you know, the lighting in here isn't great for showing these off. So what I'll do is I'll take a couple of stills and I'll stick them in at the end of the video. Right, now, if you like that, if you wouldn't mind clicking the subscribe button and like and share the video. And I'll see you in the next one.